If you're here to see a perfect garden tour, to see how beautiful things are growing in Florida in August, you might be disappointed and you may want to turn back. But if you want to see me keep it real, because I will, then you should keep watching. I'm going to show you the things that are growing, projects that are in progress, some of the sadness going on in the garden, and if you stick around to the end of the video, we're going to talk about the upcoming live as well as a giveaway that I'm going to be doing. I'm really excited about this. So happy to be able to do this, and you are going to love finding out what that is. Hi everyone, I'm Michelle and welcome back to my meadow. I'm gardening in zone 9A in Northeast Florida. I'm not an expert gardener, but I love showing you the good, the bad, and the ugly, and embracing the imperfection that learning to garden has to offer. I thought this month it would be great to start with the bananas. You would never know that just a few short months ago, these were nothing but stubs. They are definitely in need of a pruning, and I'm working on that as another video, so stay tuned for that. And here's one more view of the bananas from the front. A lot of other things need to happen. We actually need to do not only pruning, we need to take out some of these banana plants because frankly, there are too many and it affects the banana production. Around the base, there's sweet potato vine now, we have taro, we have ginger interplanted in with the banana. If we take a look over to the right-hand side here, these are yams. They're due to be harvested soon, waiting for a few days of dry weather for that. And I harvested the sweet potatoes out of the other bed, and those are going to get replanted just as soon as I have a dry afternoon. From this angle, you can see the cattle panel trellis and mostly see Audrey, as she has been dubbed. That is 4 loofah plants. And over in the left corner, I see Moose is sneaking in a cameo shot as always. He never wants to miss a garden tour. Isn't that right, Moose? Hey, Moosey, are you here for the garden tour too? Good morning to you, sir. Good morning. If you like seeing Moose and Babyface, be sure to put it in the comments below. I'm always happy to share them with you, and they do a pretty good job around here trying to keep the pests away from things, though they eat a few more lizards than I would like them to. Now here is a view of Audrey from the other side. This is a cattle panel trellis. That's not always easy to say. A cattle panel trellis that I extended over the top of this bed to grow loofah to create shade for the Subpod, which is inside here. The Subpod is an in-ground vermicomposting or worm bin, and we bring our kitchen scraps out here, but they were too hot last year. And so this year we created this trellis with the shading, and it's worked out really well, sort of having this extra landscape fabric above, there's airspace below, and I have discovered it's about 8 or 9 degrees cooler inside the Subpod than out here even under the shaded area. Back behind the Subpod, we planted peppers, and they really haven't had as much sun as they probably should have and are just really beginning to fruit months later. But I'm excited because I can see a pepper right over there. And so that means they are on their way. Those pepper plants are about 3 feet tall now. They are enjoying all of the worm composting that the worms are doing and dipping into that black gold. It is almost time to harvest that loofah and get our first sponge. We're letting a lot of the other ones grow on and get big now since it's later in the season. And from time to time, we may get a few more loofah to eat, but now we're focused on making some sponges. Over in here, we have some blackberries that need to be pruned back a little bit. Our avocado tree that died off in the winter is thriving now. The Cataly guava is doing really, really well in this Birdie's Urban raised garden bed. I did a little video last week answering the question, are Birdie's beds good? If you want to take a look at that video, I'll be sure to put a link, a card right here so you can go and see that, because Epic Gardening was having an end of season sale. I'm not sure if they still are by the time you watch this video, but this bed right here was like $70 cheaper on the sale, and they had a bunch of other stuff on sale too, so you may want to check that out. And if you're new to the channel, I am an affiliate for the Epic Gardening website, which means I'll receive a small commission if you make a purchase through my link. But that helps support this channel and it doesn't cost you anything extra. Just past the Cataly guava, we still have our little nursery area here. I see some peppers on these tiny plants. The tomatoes, while they look really beaten down, check this out. The tops look really good. And I am probably going to come along and take some clippings of those soon and propagate them without starting from seed. So kind of excited that I can do that. And down in front, our pineapple guava has really hated this heat, even with plenty of watering. And I think maybe you guys are feeling some of the same things. Look, the leaves are beat, but I see fresh growth now. We've had rain again, so we're just going to keep trying. That's all we can do. I think that's the part you have to accept when you're a gardener. I'm not sure if there's really a 12-step program for that, but I know you could just say you have to let it go and let it grow. Over here you may see this half moon. I am still working on the trellis project. This is the device I was trying to use to bend the pipes, but I screwed up, so I gotta start over again. Again, good, bad, and ugly on this channel. The mulberry tree, which last time was looking pretty terrible, has really regained its strength. It's put on some more green leaves. We have lemons on here. We have Cataly guava here. Check out the tangerines on this one. These native plants, wish I would plant them. The blueberries here in these buckets did not have their best season. I've got to figure out something different for them and get them all planted in the same area. The pawpaws that I started from bare root are looking pretty good. We're trying to keep them shaded. We have on some limes and a Myers lemon over here. I can see I've just disrupted the squirrel from his morning breakfast. He's right over there hiding on the tree. Everything's still shaking. We have been trying to come out here and add ice water into the bird bath, trying to keep it cool. It's just so hot in the afternoons over here, just so very hot. You may notice that the blue pool is turned over. This was our duck pond for some wild ducks that were visiting, and one day they just stopped showing up. I left everything out for a bit and they didn't come back anymore, so now it is closed until further notice. Meantime, all these invasive flowers still look really pretty. There is nothing I can do to combat them, so I just have to embrace it. And we don't mow them as much because they still attract pollinators. And so I'm happy at least to have this beautiful yellow out across the meadow. Over here is the north side of the garden, and this is where our raised beds are and where we're trying to integrate more raised beds. And I was looking at the different sizes, so I'd lined these up to do a different video. This is a 10-in-1 from Vigo. That is a 9-in-1, and then over there is a 4-in-1 from Vigo. Those are all Vigo brand beds, and you'll see them in some future videos. I'm trying to get this area all cleaned up. I have more digging out to do in that center bed, and hopefully by the time fall gets here, I'll have everything reset over on this side. Up here we have two more birdies beds. These are the birdies 8-in-1 beds. They're the same size bed. I dug this one out for part of the video to see what happened a year later, and I'll be working on those more. I wanted to do a comparison between the two with the Vigo over there and the birdies here all dug out, but I grew a whole bunch of tomatillos accidentally and I did not want to interrupt their growth just to dig that bed out. So that will be coming soon. A whole bunch of cleanup over here. What do they say? Cleanup on aisle 3. When we come along this side of the house, we can see the sweet potatoes that are just carry over from another year, volunteering over there. And then here, right in front of me in this stun bed, simple, total, utter neglect. It is really showing signs of neglect, and it is time to get it cleaned up. Yet another project I need to do. Down here we have more sweet potatoes that have volunteered and they need to be dug up. And check this out. The persimmon tree that we staked in another video needed more staking, so I've added additional lines back to the T-post we had, as well as adding in a little bit of bracing within the tree itself. It took me a second here. I was like, what is that? I realized that is a sweet potato vine. I can't see where it's coming from. It must be somewhere under the tree, but the sweet potato vine has grown all the way up into this fig tree. We are winding down with the figs, but let me take you up here and show you this device that I am testing. This is a sonic repeller, so I'll have a video out about that once I'm done with testing it, but it emits a sound to discourage animals from a particular area. And so far, the results are interesting. And between these two fig trees, we have our stunned okra. I put these seeds in the ground in February. It was a little early for okra, but I wanted to see if I could grow it without taking care of it. And yes, in fact, I can. Check this out. I have okra pods on, some that I've left too long. This does get water off of the house. It gets water from between the houses. I am intentionally not taking care of it. I just wanted to see if I could grow this. My microphone went out for a bit, but did you know that you can eat baby okra raw? It's still tender. I love it. It's great on a crudité or appetizer tray or in a salad. Let's head up front here to something that has gone really, really well, but I still have more projects to do. This is the Vigo bed that's up in the front garden area. In 2021, I planted Asian wing beans in this area, and earlier this year, I transplanted them into this Vigo bed, and 50% of them have put on vines and have come back to life. That makes this an official perennial here in my garden, growing it year after year, and it's just filling in really, really well. I like it up here, and I am working on a trellis. I showed you that earlier in the video. But let's dig in here and see if we can find any of the Asian wing beans. Let's get that out of the way. But over in this area here, I think I see one. Let me come over here and grab that. Let's take a look here. I think there may be a baby one right up there. It is. There we go. There we go. These are really tender when they're little. You can eat them raw just like you would a piece of okra. Chop them up in a salad. A little bit bigger, they make a delicious stir fry. But I really like having these to round out my bean collection in the garden, and you get a whole lot more for them, and they taste good too. I am a little concerned for my peach tree. Check out all these yellow leaves. It could be all this extreme heat we've had and too much water. I am going to give it in a good fertilizing with the weed tea. You don't want to fertilize in the winter, so I'm going to do it now. But I did see that we have some new growth on here, so that is promising. I've been cleaning up this front pollinator bed, and it looks a little less like a cottage garden, but this horsemint is still out of control. I'm slowly taking out a little bit at a time as it dies off. The bees love it, but it does not make for a pretty little garden at the front of the house. I have lots of mess everywhere. I really would like one little area that is lovely and not full of craziness, and so I'm going to keep working on making this better. The agapanthus has finally gone to seed. The pods have dried up, and those are little black seeds right inside there. And now I can collect these, dry these, and get them ready to plant underneath the tabibua tree. The comfrey here is looking great. It is time to harvest more of these leaves to make more free fertilizer. And just past the comfrey, we have the lemongrass. This lemongrass thrives here because it gets full sun and it gets drip irrigation from our hybrid hot water tank. And just like that, we're back around to the bananas again. All right, we made it around the whole garden. And even though there's not a lot growing on, we have been eating out of this garden right into the summer. We've had tomatoes, we've had luffa, we've had peppers, we've had basil, we've had mint, we've had cilantro, we've had spicy peppers. It's been really fun that even with a minimal amount of planting, we've had a good bit of food. Oh, and I forgot, sweet potatoes too. So I promised you, if you stuck around to this point, you have earned the right to find out an early announcement about a giveaway that we are doing. I'm going to give all the details on the live. We go live on the first Sunday of each month at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So be sure to mark your calendars. I will have a notice in the YouTube channel. You can click on notifications. We may even do some giveaways on the live. Shh, you stuck around to here, so you should have a right to know. But then on the live, we're going to announce a garden bed giveaway. I'll have all the rules. I'll tell you everything about that at the time on the live, but I'm really excited. And this garden bed giveaway is not sponsored. I am buying it out of my own pocket because I want to say thank you to you. I want to say thank you to you. You have made this possible. I am really grateful for all that's growing on here in my garden. You get me outside, you get me motivated, you engage, and I'm really grateful. So thank you to you, and be sure to come back on Sunday to learn more about that. And if you're watching this after Sunday, you can go to the live and get the details right in the pinned comment so that you can know more about this giveaway. Remember, my friends, to drink plenty of water, wear that high quality sunscreen, and if you want to take a look at that Our Birdies Beds Good video, you can check that out right after this. Psst, psst, psst. Baby face. You want to say hey to everybody? Say good morning. Good morning from the meadow. Psst, psst, psst.